The Sutton Hoo helmet. I mean, there was a time when this was on the front of every history book you ever bought because it's such an iconic image and a very striking image. And the archaeology report describes in detail the treasures from Sutton Hoo and the constructions and methods and all the rest of it. I should explain the helmet was not found like this. It was found in something like 1400 fragments dispersed in the area of the excavation, the ship's burial chamber. But the faceplate, the actual eyebrows and nose were of a piece. They were broken, but they weren't disjointed. They were quite clearly forming a group in the grave. Um, in that treasure, the Sutton Hoo treasure, Mound One, there are something like 4,000 garnets, inset garnets, the little red stones that you can see on the eyebrows here, and they occur throughout the treasure. And all those garnets have behind the inset stone a small piece of gold foil that's been stamped with a kind of waffle design, which makes it reflect and refract the light so that it sparkles. And that's true of all 4,000 plus garnets in that treasure, except the ones on the left eye here, the lower edge of the left eye and the bird head above do not have a reflective foil. So there's something odd about them, and that's okay. Maybe it was damaged and they didn't have any foils left when they came to repair it. Seems unlikely. People who can put together something like this can fairly easily effect a convincing repair if they need to. So that's a one-eyed figure, and this is the helmet of a king. It has to be a king of the East Angles. And if you look at the pedigree of the kings of the East Angles, they go back through some interesting names like Wuffa and Khazare for Caesar, and Tutla, who's there's another story there. But the top of the tree is Warden. Warden is the apical ancestor of the East Angles.
There's this snake that runs along the top of the head.
Yeah,
And then also the face seems to be some sort of bird. Is
yeah.
there a significance to that as well?
Well, I think there is. The crest, the wallu, as it's known in the technical literature, is yeah, it's D-shaped in section and it's hollow, but it as you can see on this reconstruction, it's made to appear to have a kind of it's made of chevrons and zigzag lines. So essentially, it's very snake-like. It's very serpentine, and the snake's head faces forward, but of course the other head at the back faces backwards. This gives you something of an advantage if you're deriving knowledge from these serpents. And that serpent is in direct opposition to the face, which is made up as a bird. The eyebrows are the spread wings. You've got the little bird's head there. The nose is the bird's body, and the moustache is the bird's tail. And oddly enough, each wing ends in the head of a boar, which is kind of crazy. But these are not. It's not a bird that you'll see in the woods. This is a bird from your nightmares, really, isn't it? These are weird, weird animals that are a bit of everything kind of cobbled together. The iconography itself of the whole helmet is, it's very, very interesting. We have, um, I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but there's a rider figure there brandishing a spear, but beneath the forelegs of his horse is a sort of downed opponent who's stabbing the horse in the chest with his spear, with his sword rather. And at the rear of the rider figure, there's a tiny, smaller figure who's holding on to the back end of the spear. Is this is this an infantry tactic for dealing with cavalrymen? The guy jumps on the back and takes the spear away from him, or is the figure at the back guiding the spear? Is he an assistant of some kind, and a supernatural one would assume. So that's the band of panels that run round the brow of the helmet. And then at the front, there are, again, not easy to see, but two facing warriors brandishing a spear, a pair of spears in one hand and a sword in the other. And they're wearing helmets that have kind of a crest of horns, and each horn terminates in a bird's head. So um, the supposition is that this is a reference to the two ravens that are the confidants of Odin in Norse myth, Hugin and Muninn. Hugin, based on what the verb, which in Old English would be hydjan, which is to
To kind of
reflect, to
think. Yeah.
cogitate, to think things through. Muniden, based on the equivalent verb in Old English, munnan, to remember. So here you have active thought and passive memory, which are the two factors that you need for wisdom. You need to be able to recall what's happened previously and then apply your active thought processes to it in order to work out what you're going to do now. Again, another long and tedious answer.
Well,
But
so the snake and the bird, though.
sorry, yeah. So I got off
Yeah.
topic there. The point about the snake and the bird is in one of the myths, um, Odin wishes to acquire the mead of inspiration, which has been produced by a long and magical process in the at the end of the War of the Gods, the Vanir and the Aesir. They combine their bodily fluids and create a vat of mead. Whoever drinks from it can acquire poetic inspiration and wisdom. And the clearly a being like that isn't going to last very long in the world. And a couple of dwarves kill him, take his blood, and brew mead from it. And that mead, by a circuitous process, comes into the possession of a giant, Sutton, who hides it in a chamber at the roots of a mountain and sets his daughter to Gunnlöd to guard it. And Odin learns of the existence of this mead and needs to or wants to acquire it. And he tries to enlist the help of the giant's brother in order to persuade the giant to part with it, but that's not going to happen. So he knows he's going to have to steal it. He gets um, the giant's brother to assist him by drilling down into the roots of the mountain to the underground chamber, and immediately then turns himself into a snake, descends through the borehole into the chamber at the bottom there, where he transforms himself into a handsome young man and woos the lady. I think the polite way of putting it is woos the lady 3 times, and on successive nights acquires a drink from each of the 3 vessels in which the mead is stored, and stores it up. And at that point, turns himself into a bird of prey and flies off
Mm.
with her father in hot pursuit, I should say. So again, story of Odin, but you've got the bird and the serpent in juxtaposition there on a helmet made in East Anglia in the 7th century. So predates Snorri's legend or myth by what 5, 6, 700 years, presumably, but plausibly the same story or a version of the same story because the
Hmm.
iconography is there. There are, I must say, dozens of other references to tales connected to Odin in the regalia from Sutton Hoo Mound 1, but these are
Hmm.
the ones that are easiest to explain without going into a whole A raft of detail that we don't need today.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that clip, I'll have the rest of the episode linked in the pinned comments. If you enjoy my content in general, kindly consider subscribing or becoming a contributor on Patreon. Until next time, Farathye Yesunde.